And welcome back to episode 96 of the Weekly Tech Rant with me, Jay.
And me, Carl.
Well, Carl, we're back again in the midst of this ongoing heat wave that's engulfing the UK and I think most of Europe, isn't it? It's ridiculously hot.
It is. And it's going to get harder.
It is. So we're in a kind of, I don't want to say a lull, that's not the right word, but we're in a bit of a cooler day today as we record this with forecasted temperatures over the next few days to peak in the high 30s, potentially even 40, isn't it? So crazy, crazy times here. Fans are on, cooling systems are going, as we spoke about last week. Nothing has changed on that front whatsoever.
No.
So we are back this week with a bit of a mix of stories this week. Actually, we've got we've got some slightly different stories this week from our usual tech ones, haven't we? There's a couple of old favourites in there, but definitely a mixed bag. And I think with that, let's kick off then with the first story of the week, which is regarding the NSO Group. And now, of course, the NSO Group are Apple's best friends, aren't they? I'm sorry, I must have misread that.
Apple love their Pegasus software.
They do, so much so. They've just created that new lockdown mode, haven't they, to secure your device? It didn't explicitly say Pegasus, but we all know it was.
It might as well have done.
Well, it turns out that Pegasus may soon be an American software solution, as L3Harris, the technology or I think defense group, apparently are trying to buy the NSO Group, aren't they? According to recent reports out.
I don't know. It's all hearsay. There's a lot of here and there.
Well, that's why I paused.
Yeah.
I think according then, isn't it, to the New York Times?
Yeah.
They reckon that L3Harris have been over in Israel trying to woo them, haven't they, to buy them?
They have. But But of course, Joe Biden, the US president, he has blacklisted NSO recently, hasn't he? The group, because of the Pegasus software, and where companies are buying it and trying to crack the phones of politicians and campaigners. So he's putting them on a no-go list.
But does that still? But I mean, if an American company buys them and brings them into the US, is it still banned software if they can use it themselves?
I don't know on this one. It's I'm not sure how that would work, because I mean they're still in Israel. Would they still sell it to anyone who's got the money, or would it be more selective now they're a US company?
Or would it be, here you are, NSA, we can sell you this. This is good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So
I don't know.
So, I'm not sure. They've been over there, haven't they? Apparently, and this is all allegedly and apparently in hearsay. They've apparently told the NSO Group that the US government offers its tacit support for the acquisition, although publicly the US officials said to be outraged to learn about negotiations. So who knows what the truth is there?
Well, this is a bit that, it's, like you say, it's the most puzzling. As you say, one hand, the administration is like, no way in hell is that company going to do any business with American, companies or all that. And then, as you say, not NSO Group, sorry, L3 are going, well, actually, they're all right about it. It's all cool. Hey, look, here's a signed letter of approval.
But then now L3 have said they've planned to end their attempt to buy the company, but hearsay says it's actually still going on.
I know.
Who knows?
There is a lot of worries, isn't there, that the NSO Group are faltering as a business because of what the US administration has done, the fact they're blacklisted everywhere. They're not getting any investment, from anybody, so money's tight. It does seem very, very odd.
It's one of those sectors, though. It's one of those sectors, though, that if you're really successful, you shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, yeah, because everybody wants a piece of the pie, don't they?
And then it gets banned, and then you've got no business. So, victim of their own success.
What is amusing, though, actually, to come back to that point around being a blacklisted bit of software, a blacklisted company, that apparently the New York Times revealed that the FBI and the CIA had both purchased Pegasus in 2019 and 2018, respectively, to use against this. I mean, so I guess, I suppose in one respect, it's like, can't be seen buying that. Shh, they're going to know we've bought it. Well, we all know you've bought it. Maybe it's a case of, actually, if they buy it, the US can have it, then there's no issues. Maybe that's the whole point behind this.
But don't know, maybe.
L3 Group, though, because I'm saying, as we were talking about the notes, they are huge, L3 Group. They are, tens of $1 billion company. They do, everything from aerospace, defense. They're kind of one of these organizations that's grown over the years through acquisitions and mergers. That's basically how they can. So I think it was 2013, two companies called Harris and L3 merged to become L3.
Right.
And they go, and I think the Harris company goes all the way back to the 1890s when they were doing kind of printing presses and typesetting and that kind of stuff. So talk about a different
Oh, blimey, yeah.
path, yeah. But today, it's all around mission systems. They do stuff for flight simulators, flight training, imaging. They do space and airborne for satellites and stuff, command and control, and communication. But L3 themselves though haven't been short of their own fair share of criticism. Back in
Yeah.
2013, they were accused of selling mobile interception services to different law
Oh, what
enforcement.
are they called? Stingers or Stingray or something like
That's
that
the one,
one.
Stingrays. Yeah. Then also in 2019, they paid a $13 million lawsuit, or it was L3 before the merger, that they violated the Arms Control Export Act by 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 selling apparently
And they're a printing
nine
company. They just print their own money.
nine different violations, which included unauthorized exports of technical data in the form of software,
Yeah.
unauthorized exports of tactical radios. This one's brilliant. Wait for this. Unauthorized exports of military electronics to Canada. We can't give those Canucks anything. uh,
Oh, yeah.
unauthorized exports of a remote control vehicle, a signal radar, software, and then it goes on about night vision equipment and then everything else. So
So what
they
was the
have
fine now? Did you say 30 million or billion?
13 million. So it was
Million.
a little
Okay.
bit, yeah,
One
yeah.
3 million. What? I'm sure they made more profit on those deals than the $13 million fine.
I would imagine they probably did, to be brutally
Or
honest with you.
possibly one of those deals.
Yeah, that's it's not something they're going to be too worried about, is it?
No.
Uh, you know, but who knows? But this one's an interesting one, as you say. Is it or isn't it? Is the question, isn't it? Is it alive or is it not alive? Who knows? But we're going to keep an eye on that one and see where that comes back to. But
Yeah.
definitely a very peculiar move from L3 there in terms of
Yeah.
give their past.
Who knows? Who knows?
So then we talked about this a little bit last week then around Elon Musk and the Twitter deal, and it is on the rocks, as they would say, isn't it? Depending
It
on who you
is
talk
definitely.
to.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Musk is now trying to back out of that 44 billion deal, isn't he?
You turn.
But without paying the 1 billion, from my understanding, he doesn't want to pay the 1 billion now.
No, but according to some reports, if he pays the $1 billion, he actually would only pay 600 because he get a rebate of 400 million in tax rebates.
Really? This is going to be easy. I don't know. But no, he's apparently filed court documents in the Delaware Chancery Court to attempt to kind of cancel the deal. Obviously, Twitter aren't taking any of this, and they're going to
No.
war. They're going to pursue legal action to force him to buy them.
The thing is now, though, this is put Twitter in a very precarious position, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
the company is at stake here, I think, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Because there was rumors, wasn't there, that he wouldn't go through the transaction to start with, and that Elon Musk buying Twitter would be disastrous.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is him not buying Twitter could be disastrous in the case of this whole lawsuit.
Would it? I mean, the whole thing's going through, though. Their share price is tanked, which is part of the reason why he wants to
Well,
get
it's what he
out of
wanted.
it.
Yeah.
But is that because he's now buying it, people don't like that? If he pulls out, is their share price actually going to go back up? I suspect it might do.
Possibly. And he also lost a shed load of money, didn't he, because of the deal on the Tesla stock that he was going to...
Tesla stock, didn't it?
Yeah, well, he was going to use that as collateral, wasn't he, against the deals?
Yeah.
And now what you've got is, him posting memes on Twitter of saying they couldn't buy... They said I couldn't buy Twitter.
It was a funny one, though. I did chuckle at that.
Then they wouldn't disclose bot info. Now they want me to force me to buy Twitter. And it's like,
Yeah, and then we forced to disclose the bot info in court.
I know.
It was a funny one. I'll give him credit there.
Yeah, but it's like we all laughed at Donald Trump for his, diplomacy through Twitter. But Musk is no different, is it? The guy is just the same.
He's exactly the same. It's just the same as Trump on that. Yeah. I think Twitter would be better off without Musk in charge, but
I think you're right. I mean, yeah, exactly. We're not shareholders, are we? I mean, so who knows? But interestingly, though, isn't it? Twitter, though, have now reportedly hired the law firm that includes one of the founders of this so-called poison pill defense. That Twitter apparently tried to use, didn't they, to stop Musk getting the buyout, where they got other shareholders, didn't they, to buy. So they're clearly arming up here for a fight. It's not, they want this to be pushed through. The thing is, though, if he buys them, what's to stop them him selling them or taking them public again? I suppose, isn't it? That's
Nothing. He could do that, definitely.
could make a pretty return on that. But again,
Oh, he's probably, if he's still paying 44 billion, he's paying well over the odds based on Twitter's current share price.
oh, massively, yeah, massively. But then again, that's like a lot of these things, isn't it? It's all tanked. It beggars belief, though, that anybody thought this would be a done deal, and go through nice and smoothly. Anything that he touches, a bit like Trump, just is ignited in flames.
Becomes a mess. It does. It's a bit of a mess.
It is a bit like the recent test of one of the Starship rocket tests. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen the latest one. What happened?
So I think they had another engine fire.
Right.
So they did a static test the other day,
okay.
and the engine caught fire again, and what's the word? Enveloped. Is that the right word? Isn't it? Enveloped the.
It sounds about right. Yeah.
Enveloped the kind of the base of the rocket in flames and fuel. So it's apparently saying that it was unplanned, according to it. Though funnily enough, Musk posted a tweet saying that it was an ordinary engine test, and he later deleted that test and posted further after it saying it was unplanned and anomalous.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, mixed information, given that they're way behind on where Starship should be. Should have had orbital tests by now, shouldn't it? So
they should have done. Yeah. Well, some things they put up in orbit though is the old Starlink, haven't they?
Oh yes, I would like to have a test of that. I've got to say.
I think if I moved out into the sticks and I couldn't get reliable broadband, I think I'd go with Starlink. Just, I mean, it's got to be better than like 2 meg ADSL.
Oh,
but
definitely.
They are expanding, aren't they? They are.
Well,
expanding.
yeah, for your personal yacht now, isn't it? Because that, the one you won with the lottery winnings the other week,
Yeah, exactly. It's they're releasing what they call the maritime version of the service. So design things like merchant vessels, super yachts, oil rigs, that kind of stuff where you traditionally can't get it. So it's I mean, it sounds like a great idea, but holy moly, the price.
I mean, you need to be able to own a super yacht to be able to pay for this, really.
They do. I mean, I pulled out the consumer pricing as well. So you obviously have to buy the hardware first.
Yep.
With your consumer, it's like $600. If it's maritime, it's 10,000. But okay, in fairness, they're rugged, larger dishes, and you're getting 2 for the price. But still, that's a big jump. But I mean, the even bigger jump is the subscription. The consumers, it's like 110 for the normal version. They do offer one for your RVs, your recreational vehicles, don't you?
That's right. They do the van life mode, isn't it? Or whatever. Yeah.
But you can't drive with that. It's still only stationary. I thought, why am I paying more then?
I be honest with you, I read that as well. I was like, why would I take out that subscription that means that I can only use when I'm static? So that's no different to having my home version. Because that's more. Static. Yeah, and if you do it in motion, it'll void the warranty.
That's it. But anyway, so the maritime version is designed. You don't have to stay stationary on your boat. It can move. But it's going to cost you $5,000 a month. That's a bit of a price hike for 135 or 110.
It is, isn't it? And with that service, you can expect anywhere between 100 to 350 meg down and 20 to 40 meg up. Latency, though, is quite high. Probably around the 99.
You're moving, I imagine.
Yeah, 99 milliseconds plus, around 20 to 40 for. But apparently, according to Starlink, those are what they call performance goals. So you might not even get that.
No, there's no SLA, is there? No guaranteed speed.
But if you are a super yacht owner, you've got a sort of, if you imagine the Earth as on a flat page, you've got all of the continental US. Basically, it's a band that is from Alaska. Basically, I would say Alaska to Panama wide across the stretch there, which also includes the whole of all of the US coastal areas, includes all of the Mediterranean, UK, your Great Lakes. It kind of does include the Atlantic, but not quite. It's kind of, isn't it, says possible. And then all of the coasts of Australia, New Zealand as well are included. And what appears to be, I think, Argentina, wasn't it?
Parts of South America, definitely.
Yeah, Chile, maybe, I think, actually looking at that map very quickly.
But it was an interesting tweet Musk put out, though. He to defend the pricing or not, he was basically saying, it's offering better performance than competing services that cost up to $150K a month.
Well, that's what they didn't name them though, did he?
No, they didn't. So obviously, it's not something I buy every day. So I couldn't comment on that, what normal pricing is. But if that's anywhere remotely true, then it's a bargain.
But he did post a really interesting video, or SpaceX did, I should say,
Yeah,
which was a video taken with their existing provider on the drone ship, and then
yeah,
the other one was using Starlink on the drone ship.
yeah.
And I mean, whether they dialed down it or they edited them post, I don't know. But there was a hell of an improvement, wasn't there, on that video? Did you see it?
Well, I didn't actually watch the video, but I mean, I've watched videos from the drone ships before of landings, and they've always been a bit choppy, a bit cutty out, and compressed.
Yeah, well, the one with the supposed Starlink maritime version
Yeah.
was almost 1080p clear.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was, yeah,
Oh
very
yeah,
good.
yeah. So I just watched it now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Though
I must mute that.
I will add that the two videos weren't taken in the same conditions. So the one with the I guess the existing provider, it's got cloudy, and the one with
It's rather cloudy,
Starlink
which obviously
is,
affects satellite
yeah,
transmissions anyway.
which is a brilliant blue sky. But it does look very good in case that. And I guess if you are a super yacht or you're running you're running tankers, whatever. Let's be honest, we all want the internet, don't we? And
We
this
do,
kind of
and
service,
5K a month's nothing.
no. Actually, I was quite impressed with the RV version. I have to say, as you say, but I wouldn't want to have to stop every 2 minutes to use the internet.
No, no. Yeah, that's an odd one. So what are you paying more for exactly with the RV version? I don't understand this.
Well, that's the bit I don't understand either. What is the payment?
Because you're buying the same dish from what I can work out.
Yeah, I think you are, and you're connecting to the same satellites, or is it something to do with the tracking in it? I'm puzzled. And why
Hmm.
can't it move on the road? I don't understand. What are you saying? It is the what? Are they suggesting then that maybe then hang on a thought. The RV version isn't ruggedized, so to speak. So the maritime version is designed for constant usage. It's going to have
Yeah.
dampening or whatever in there, isn't it?
If you're
For the
waterproof, all that kind of. Well, mind you, they
yeah,
must be waterproof. They're outside. It rains.
yeah. But I'm guessing is it the constant movement? That's kind of
Maybe. Yeah.
the rattling, that kind of stuff that could cause damage to it. I don't know, but
Maybe.
though it's impressive. But yeah, definitely, as you say, if it's the kind of thing you want internet, you got the money for it. Yeah, but interestingly, according to the FCC,
Yeah.
they say the service runs on a banding, possible interference, sorry, on the bandings of 12.2 to 12.7 gigahertz band, which are the ones that Starlink use. And apparently there could be interference on those because any vessels must accept interference from future and current services authorized. Now, the reason I mention that is because one of the competitors is called Dish, and Dish plan for 5G over the 12 gigahertz band, and
Ah.
SpaceX say that's going to make Starlink unusable. Dish, in their retort, say that SpaceX are lying. Somewhere in the middle is the truth.
This sounds
Dish,
like 5G and the airline industries.
yeah, Dish apparently is saying that SpaceX have manipulated the test and lied to customers about the 5G interference on their service.
That wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't. I mean, would you really think that the filtering is that bad on those satellites? That the fact that we've had satellite
No.
TV for what best part of 40 years, and that okay. I know that drops out now and then,
Hmm.
but it's pretty good, isn't it? That
It
we
is, yeah.
can't make satellite internet work without filters. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
We will see.
we'll see.
Talking of expensive subscriptions.
Oh God, yes. Don't go there. But yes, talk about subscriptions. BMW. Whoa, dear.
As both being BMW owners here, we have a vested interest in this one.
Yes.
So, yes, so BMW have now announced that you'll be able to get a subscription for your heated seats, front heated seats. The rear ones are probably coming later in a year. But yeah, they are now saying that you'll be able to basically rent your heated seats. £15 a month or $18, or you can do it yearly, a year subscription at £150 straight $180, or a 3-year one for £250 straight $300, or you can buy a perpetual license for £350 or $415. I'll let you go first, Jay. What are your thoughts?
I am disgusted by this, quite frankly. Well, let's say one thing. BMW, the automotive industry has cottoned on to monthly recurring revenue, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yep, it has.
Well,
Yep.
welcome to the world of SaaS, or car as a service, CAS.
Yeah.
I just think this is ludicrous. I think if you're
Yeah.
paying upwards of what, let's be honest, in the UK, we were talking about the other day about car tax. So the UK, if a car at list price is over £40,000, you pay a yearly tax to that, what's called
A
road
luxury
tax
car allowance. That's car
and
tax, isn't it? Yeah.
car tax, and on top of that, as you say, there's a luxury car penalty because it's over 40 grand list. I mean, at this rate, heated seats, I don't think were a luxury, quite frankly, but apparently, according to BMW, they are. I mean, but let's be honest,
Well,
BMW don't just sell you the heated seat subscription; they sell you the
no.
high beam assistance, so automatic high beams on your
Yeah.
car. They sell you the sounds of your car. They sell
Mm.
you the weather services. They sell you the map update packages. They what's it? The other one is part of the cruise control system, isn't it? The driving assistant plus
Yeah.
is a subscription. And there's a weird one which I think is terrible, which is that online entertainment voucher, which quite frankly is just a waste of money. So subscriptions in BMW are nothing new, but I think heated
No.
seats now is taking the proverbial. Quite frankly, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you agree with it. Do you?
No, I don't. I have a very different view on this one. So, okay, so hear me out on this one. So, BMW luxury car brand, yes?
Right. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Never ever come with heated seats as standard. You can't get it. You have to buy a pack. They don't come out the box with heated seats. Okay, so you're either paying for a petrol license, or you're buying it outright, which is what I did on mine. And you can buy it by itself or part of a pack where they give you a discount for buying other bits and pieces. And that's what I did. I bought the comfort pack, so I got heated seats, auto dimming mirrors, a couple of other bits and pieces for a reduced price. Okay, and this is the reason I don't have a problem with it. They're not taking that option away. What they're doing is they're fitting every car with the hardware. So regardless if you buy the base one or the top of the end model with all the packs, it's got the heated seats in there. Just it's whether they're turned on or off. So, and I think this opens up possibilities. You can either, like me, just pay it up front and get them enabled and never have to worry about it. There's no subscription. Or later on, if you decide maybe you live in a hot country that has very few cold winters, you could just turn it on for a month on a particularly extreme weather conditions. Or maybe if you bought the car second hand, there's now the option to add heated seats because it didn't have to start off with. The hardware's there. You can just buy it when you want. And then I say they're not taking that away. They're giving you more options. You buy it outright like normal, or you can subscribe to it. Your choice. So at any time, you can turn it on or off.
You know what? I get what you're saying. Actually, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's standardization.
If they were
of the
taking
cars.
away the option to perpetually buy it and it was subscription only, God, yeah, then I'd be really, really peeved. But they're not taking that option away or changing it anyway. It's actually probably just reducing the cost by putting this on the production line, the same hardware in every single car.
Well, yeah. So theoretically, it should reduce. So for BMW, theoretically, it should reduce their operational costs because they're standardizing on parts, as you say.
Yes.
But actually, they're going to make money because this. I was looking at some of the comments around that was working out that theoretically $415, or was it one of the US costs, was more expensive than the optional extra if you bought them up front.
So I don't.
So
and when I looked at mine, I couldn't actually buy it separately. I went and checked before I went online.
Part
I
of
don't
the
buy
pack,
it online. It was a comfort pack, which I can't remember, was about £1,000, but it had 3 or 4 items in there. So I don't know, and I don't know what the value of each is, but I don't know, 350 quid sounds about right for it out of 1,000 with 4 items.
You're right. I mean, this is getting to that stage, isn't it, where everything becomes a subscription. You own nothing. Yeah. Everything is there. I mean, for all of the anger here, this is not going to change. A lot of these cars are going to move to this, aren't they? And given as we move into the world of the Tesla style, where there's nothing really in the car, it's all electronic, isn't it? Software is going to be the key to turning stuff on and off, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking, and obviously the massive delays on getting a car at the moment. My brother's got an electric car on order that's been pushed back 9 months. He ordered it last year at some point. I think he's going to currently get it September, October this year, just because things are not just chip shortages, but yeah, this could speed things up. You're not having different production lines for different configurations. I have to move cars out to add different bits in. It's just the same on every single car, and it's done over the air by software,
Yeah,
which should
yeah.
hopefully speed up production of your cars as well.
You know what you want though? Somebody's going to crack this. I
Oh,
know
of
the
course they will.
subscription.
Yeah, they're
That's
going
the
to crack
thing.
that, but that'll be a small minority of people. The more tech savvy.
Well, one of those ODB, sorry,
Yeah,
dongles to plug in, and
away you go. And you can only do that with CarPlay on the BMWs. You can buy a software package online to enable CarPlay if you haven't already bought it because the
of
hardware's
course,
already there.
not very clear. Not we're not condoning that. Of course, that's highly
No,
illegal,
no,
and
but it's already happened, so
yeah,
it'll
it's
turn
already,
into an arms race.
yeah, well, it will do very much so, very much an arms race in that sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think as as an owner, it's frustrating because at the moment I'd like to have bought the car and have the bits on it that I want, not having to pay extra on top of that is just frustrating.
But you're not.
I-
You would have paid extra for the heated seats anyway.
yeah, I
You
guess
can't
so.
buy it with the heated. There is no. It's not a Ford or a Vauxhall where it comes standard with it. They're not standard to begin with. You have to pay
No,
some extra money to get it. So whether you do it at the time of purchase or you do it once the car's arrived and go, actually no, I want the heated seats. I'm just going to pay for the petrol license, or I'll pay for it for 2 months or whatever. You're paying anyway.
I'm allowed to be angry.
Yeah, of course you can. I've just been so much outrage about this online, and everyone keeps forgetting the fact that you can still just buy it like normal. They're
No,
just
you're
giving
right.
you more options. They're not taking anything away, or yeah, the option's still there to just do it like you always have done with a BMW.
I think what's happened though, isn't it, that people outside of BMW circles have only just realised this is happening, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
kind of a lot of what's
yeah,
going on here.
of course.
Whereas as BMW owners, we've been well aware of this for a little while now because we've had it in our cars. It's part of the service.
Well, my previous one, I had to technically I had a subscription for Apple CarPlay.
Well, I
I
did.
never
Yeah, I had
paid for
to.
it because
Yeah,
I had 3 years included. Then it was subscription, but then they canned that before it even got to the 3 years.
yeah, I
They
had to
canned
pay
that
for that
idea.
when I picked mine up. Yeah, when I got it, so it was
Yeah.
quite annoying. But yeah, like a lot of these things, it is
You had
frustrating.
that option. If it was the old way, there would be no option. CarPlay wasn't there, and that was it.
No, it'd be new head unit, wouldn't it? And that would be
Yeah.
more money. But
Way more expensive. But yeah, why are you charging for CarPlay? I don't get that one, but that's a different
that's a whole
conversation.
different ballgame. It is. Talking of CarPlay and in fact, Apple,
Yeah.
I should say. Then they too will have a little bit of a change of plan as the third-party payment providers ruling has come into play in South Korea, hasn't it?
It
So they
has
now
indeed.
developers can now finally use additional payment methods alongside or in place of Apple's in their applications in the Korean App Store.
Can.
All
Just
change.
like the Netherlands, though, they're going to have to still pay 26% to Apple.
Ka-ching. Yeah.
And they obviously have to do a separate build of the app with the store kit external purchase thing enabled. So they'll have to maintain 2 builds.
Again, we're not entirely sure though how many apps are going to take this up, are they? But there are. I think they said. I think I read there was 5 payment providers now that are qualified or Apple have approved. Is
is there? Okay.
Yeah, KCP, Inesys, TOS, and Nice. Brilliant, great names. But if you want to use a payment provider not approved by Apple, you then have to submit it to Apple and go through a whole approval process.
Okie doke.
Again, making it smooth and simple.
Smooth. Well, a lot of the people in the EU might be doing that soon as well.
Well, that's a good segue there, my friend. A very good segue. Now, as the DMA or the Digital Markets Act is law, very quickly it's become law.
It was approved by the EU Parliament last week, I think.
I think it was. Yeah.
And this isn't just against Apple; it just might have the biggest effect on Apple. So yeah, alongside allowing third-party payment things, they may potentially have to allow third-party app stores as well as opening up iMessage to allow its users to send messages to other platforms such as WhatsApp and Signal and Facebook Messenger or whatever it is.
I just Apple, I think the poster child for the hate here, aren't they? On this, but yeah, you're right. It isn't just that. This is pretty much all technology companies, and as far as they're looking to do, as far as they're concerned, is that they want to rein in the power that these tech giants have got.
They do.
And there's another great fining process similar to GDPR. It's now up to 10% of their annual global turnover for any of the violations of the DMA.
Yeah.
How the question I have on that is, will it have teeth? Because
Will someone actually get fined 10% to be made an example of?
because we did not see, we've seen big fines for GDPR, but we didn't see any. What
Not
I'd
10%
call
of the company kind of
no,
thing.
we didn't see any landmark fines, did we? I mean, what was it? I
Not
think
at all.
British Airways was one of the biggest ones, wasn't it?
Wasn't it only 100 and something?
Yeah,
fine.
I think the biggest one with a quick look up was Amazon, 870 million last year.
Right. Who was that to, sorry?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon.
And,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's pocket change.
And then before that, the next biggest one was $255 million, which was with WhatsApp,
Okay.
which was to do with the privacy notice.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But
So
it'll be interesting how this kind of plays out. One, obviously, the Apple are kind of doing the third-party payment bits now. A third-party app store, though, or side loading. Yeah, they're going to fight that all the way.
yeah, 100%. That they're not going to take their line down. That will be.
I think they'll roll over on the iMessage one. I think they'll just throw in RCS and be done with it at that point.
Yeah, you're right. The message I can't say the blooming word.
Interoperability, yeah.
That's the right one. That's the other one I can't say. Homogeneous, that's the word I always follow with as well. Yeah, so you're right. They've got to have this, ability to operate with other messaging platforms. Part of me
I don't get that one.
Stop muddling with stuff. As an example user, I am a WhatsApp user because I want to use WhatsApp. I don't want to use RCS, or I don't want to use iMessage or Telegram or whatever.
We're WhatsApp users because our family use it and we have to communicate with them, not because we want to use it.
No, I
don't want to be using WhatsApp, but the family decide to use it, and
And why? And that's the whole point of these apps, isn't it? Why can't you have apps? This almost like goes back to the days of AOL, Instant Messenger and ICQ, where they, I think we talked about this before. Pigeon, you remember that app?
Pigeon, Pigeon.
Where you could basically bring all the other messaging apps into one, couldn't you? I mean, I just feel to them it's just like we can't have nice things. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But as I say, I think you're right. Apple and the RCS thing, they'll roll over on RCS because it'll be easy to do.
Well, it's the lesser of all the evils. They're not going to put iMessage on other platforms.
No, and they'll make it very clear you're using RCS and not iMessage when you're sending.
Yeah, so we've got blue bubbles, green bubbles. What are we going to go for? Red bubbles, maybe?
Yeah, they'll be very obvious that you are not using iMessage.
Dirty brown.
Yeah, that'll be it. You've stepped in
the dirty brown one,
yeah. The side loading App Store, like we say, tooth and nail, that is going to be fought all the way. That will not be an easy
That's
fight.
Their big one. That will the one where they'll fight to the death on.
Yeah, but so that'll be the one that, this is going to go all the way. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Apple's responses are to this. I don't think they'll make any public response initially.
Oh, no.
And I couldn't see, did a check, maybe you can help me. Was there somewhere that said how long...
No, I didn't see implementation timescale or anything like that. Had to be done by. I imagine they've got to give me a year or two, surely.
As I say, that'd be interesting to see what happens there. Okay, but yes, the DMA is here and not going away, and it'll be interesting to see whether or not the US, who were taking a close watch on where this goes, will implement something similar, maybe at a state level first. And I imagine. California. I imagine we'll see perhaps similar things happening in places like South Korea as well, as they obviously have been moving quite quickly around things like the third-party platforms. So, an interesting turn of events. And I think also, I don't know whether you agree, but I thought this went under the radar a little bit. In the terms of the main news. I didn't see much.
I only caught up on it. I'm still catching up when I had a holiday, so I'm catching up through all the news I pinned on bookmark to read on. But it wasn't really announced very much, was it?
No, I didn't see particularly big announcements, even on things like the BBC or anything like that. So, definitely something that I thought would have made waves, but perhaps other things are taking precedence, especially here in the UK at the moment
Yeah,
with our political situation.
definitely.
Well,
Indeed.
talking then about walled gardens, then is probably a good place to go there. Meta have finally said you will no longer need a Facebook account for your Meta Quest
Um,
headset, though I'm yet to see it personally.
no,
So
I mean, well,
from August, isn't it? Apparently,
from August, yes, you'll no longer have to. They won't require you to have a Facebook account to log in, but they will require you to have a shiny new Meta account. But yeah, you knew that wasn't. There was some
back it
bad
up.
news
Yeah,
somewhere, wasn't there? Yeah, yeah. There's a slightly more to it, isn't there? You also need to have a Meta Horizons profile, which is for their metaverse,
oh,
which is basically virtual Facebook.
yeah. It's like look at the left hand, right hand, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
you don't need a Facebook account, but use this new
yeah.
shiny Meta account. What? Hang on a
I mean,
minute.
I was
Isn't
okay.
one
I thought I read that and I was quite happy. It's not until I read the detail. I thought, well, okay, a Meta account I can deal with. It's not a public account, like Facebook. I had to sign up for a Facebook just for the friggin' VR headset. Yeah, but yeah, I now have to have a public Meta Horizons profile.
I just
Time for another fake account again, then, isn't it?
yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, surely
Well, time to
there should
sell the
be.
headset, I think.
Well, do you know what? I think to a degree, there's a part of me that thinks that. To me, it should be this way: you either have to have basically local account, and it stops all these services. You can't access the Oculus Store. You can't access all this extra
Yeah,
stuff. Blah blah blah. You can play games on it. Say Steam, for example. Like say all that
yeah,
kind of stuff, fully
PC
supported.
games, yeah.
That's great. If you take up the Meta account, then it unlocks the store. You can do all the bells and whistles. That's how it should be, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
That
I just want
would
a
be a
local
better.
one. I mean, even the store. The store should be included in local because if you've got a Quest headset, obviously you can play games directly without a PC attached.
Yeah.
But there's no need for you to have a public profile to buy something from a store.
No. It's just.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone that's going to see me in VR other than you. So I don't want to have a Facebook account.
No, I don't. I don't either. I don't want anything
So
for
as soon
it.
as that comes out, I'll be disconnecting from the Facebook and shutting that one down.
I was looking how. I mean, I did see the other day. Funnily enough, I wanted to see if I sold my Rift S, how much they were going for, and my God, they're cheap now.
Yeah, there you go. I haven't even looked to sell my original Rift. I might just give that to our third friend.
I think you might as well, because I mean, you could a Rift S. I could have bought one of those for just under £100. One of the deals.
Blimey. Wow.
They're averaging around 120, give or take. So yeah, definitely. I think you might. Yes, you're right. I think you should pass it across to our mutual friend.
Yeah,
And
I just need to take all the sensors down because obviously you needed actual sensors at that point, so they're all mounted on the walls with cables tacked in.
Yeah.
And it's just so they've been sitting there looking pretty for the last 6 or 7 months because I can't bother to take them down. It means I'm going to have to paint and all sorts.
That HP reverb I want though.
I keep actually going maybe a G2.
The reverbs are around £400. I've seen
Secondhand, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait till next year because there are some newer, shinier headsets coming out to see what the landscape looks like that isn't Facebook Meta, and then maybe get rid of the Quest 2 and
Index or Index or G2 right now would
maybe
be
a G3 if it's a G3 out at that point. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, but I'm thinking money, my friend.
Oh yeah. Well, if there's a G3 out, an even cheaper G2.
Yeah, definitely. Though the resolution on the G2 is far better than the Rift, so that's definitely something to think about. But,
the Quest 2 is a big jump in resolution from the original Rift. But I got the problem is that I bought new glasses and they're wider, and it's quite a tight fit to get that headset on.
Oh, you were saying that before, yes, I recall.
I had another go the other day, and it is a tight fit. I think I'm gonna have to buy prescription lenses.
What's the other one's the Vibe, isn't it? That's the other one that
the HTC,
yeah. I can't remember how well they compared though to the Rift S, which I've got. So I'd have to.
I'd aim for the G2.
Yeah, that
But
would
yeah,
probably
I
be
think I'm going to have to get prescription lenses, and with my dodgy eyesight,
the odd
they're going to
yeah.
be over 100 quid for prescription lenses to put in it.
Moving swiftly on.
So yeah, hence I've not done any VR in a while.
No, which is a shame because I missed a bit of DCS. But anyway,
Oh, I know. We'll give it a go. I'll just be hamstrung. I'll take my glasses off.
you might be still be able to see. Yeah.
I haven't actually tried that. I might give it a go. I mean, I'm not a great pilot anyway, but it's only going to get worse.
Nothing to worry about then. Nothing to worry about.
Missed the runway again.
Yeah. Remember, if you can walk away from it, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
So then, the last story before we
News
talk about the
article, yeah.
rumor mill. Yes, I couldn't get the words out. Is of course the large Microsoft acquisition that happened earlier, this nearly $70 billion acquisition of Activision, which we were all blown away by, is unsurprisingly under regulatory review.
I mean, it was only a matter of time before the UK's Commissions and Market Authority, the CMA, popped their head up, wasn't it?
As we often say, they've got to keep got to keep things working, haven't they? And
yeah, they have.
doing it. But they are now, aren't they, assessing whether the deal's going to cause higher prices, reduced quality in games,
lessen competition, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like I say, no shock, no shock at all. But I don't think I think this is just again a standard. I've come to the conclusion with the CMA now. This is standard practice
For everything, yeah. And it is an initial one, isn't it? It's just the initial early stages. They're asking for feedback from any interested parties ahead of them deciding whether to embark on what they call it, phase 2, basically a full-blown investigation.
And that's it. And I think, as you say, the criteria for the CMA using has changed. So is it now if it's the two or more distinct enterprises cease to be distinct, the turnover is over 70 billion, or two businesses acquire or supply 25%. Basically, if they provide 25% of the same market. So in this case, both apply, really, don't they?
They do,
because it's over 70 billion.
They did make WhatsApp. Oh no, who bought Giphy?
Facebook, wasn't it?
Facebook. Haven't they made them walk that back? Haven't they?
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
So
yeah,
who knows?
I mean, let's be honest. That was no great loss to her. That was that was in November. The CMA told them to sell it. Yeah,
but I haven't heard any more since then. Have they? Or have Meta just gone? Nah, it's all right. We're not gonna.
Well, I don't think
they were both American companies, so I don't really understand that one. But
the reason they were concerned is apparently, according to that, the CMA found that Giphy's advertising services had the potential to compete with Facebook's own. It would have encouraged greater innovation from others in the market. Facebook terminated Giphy's advertising services when they merged, removing any competition. And they also said that this was concerning that Facebook controls nearly half the $7 billion display advertising in the UK. So that's the problem there. I would imagine, though, with Microsoft, it might be an issue because they've got Bethesda already.
They've had some large purchases recently.
Yeah, it could be. It could be interesting, but worth keeping an eye on this one. But yes, they are being investigated, unsurprisingly. But again, it could go through. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. So then, hang on a moment. So the rumor mill's a little bit dry this week. I mean, there is a heat wave on, so all wells are dry, aren't they? At the minute, Wow. But our good friend Co is meeting Quo
is back.
Yes.
I mean, we've not even had the first generation of Apple's mixed reality headsets yet, and
no, we haven't.
Generation 2, apparently due out in 2025. There are going to be not just one, but 2 models. So apparently we're getting an upgrade to the unseen first generation headset, which will have better hardware, M3, M4, maybe, I don't know. And then there's going to be a more affordable model. This puzzles me. What do they mean by affordable?
Because subscription based?
I'm guessing we're not talking Meta Quest 2 pricing, $300 to $400. We're probably not even talking Valve Index pricing at $1,000 or more, considering we expect the first headset to be $3,000 or more.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Crow. I mean, he's probably just, I don't know, shooting
Hmm.
for a score here. But yeah, I mean, it isn't surprising that they're going to come out the barrel. See, we've got these metaphors going on now. They're going to come out. They're going to come out the starting blocks with the high end model, isn't it? That's going to be the
Yeah, of course.
landmark. A bit like, I suppose, if you think about the way Oculus did, isn't it? Very expensive early doors, and then as they revise the technology, it's going to come down. But yeah, so you're right. But what is affordable? Giving $3,000 is I guess, the
1,500,
rumored top end.
£2,000.
Possibly. And what will it? I mean, and it says, kind of align with the iPhone pricing models in that kind of,
And
scale.
affordable to who?
Well, yeah,
Business or consumer?
well, agreed. Is that it? And what will be missing from the affordable version?
Yeah, I mean,
Because that,
to get the majority of any consumers buying this, even if you're buying into iPhones, they're not going to spend more than £400 and £500 on a VR headset, mixed reality headset. Sorry, this is consumers. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I can't see Apple playing in that price bracket.
no, because if you think about all the features that this is rumored to come with, isn't it? Multiple
Yeah.
camera setups. It's going to have full-on gestures for hands. It's going to have LiDAR. It's going to have, what was it? Voice recognition, eye recognition, skin detection, according to Quo, isn't it? Every sensor you can think of under the sun, this is going to have. What do you remove that is no longer is seen as high end, that doesn't, I don't know, impede the experience? That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And what about displays? It's led to have rumored to have, is it the micro LED displays from Samsung going into it? Obviously, it's meant to have an M2. Now, I imagine that it won't be a standalone device. The more affordable, it'll be run from your phone or something, I imagine.
Yes, that's probably so.
So
Yeah, I
remove
guess.
the computer out, take a big chunk of that one. But yeah, and some of those sensors, like skin contact sensors and stuff like that, they'll obviously still need the motion ones to detect where you're looking and stuff. But will it have the bit that looks at your eyes? Who knows?
Who knows, indeed. I mean, given that this is rumored to have an M2 processor in it, isn't it?
And 16 gig of RAM.
Would it be that, as you say, the other ones step down to an M1 processor, 8 gig of RAM, that kind of process? Or how long before the M lineup becomes the de facto chipset for Apple and even the phones start using them?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2025. We've got a good 3 years away. We could have an M chip in a phone by that point.
In which case, then there's enough processing power in the phone to drive the lower end headset.
Yep.
Just a thought.
Or is the more affordable headset not a mixed reality and it's just AR? Is
Well,
this the AR glasses?
Now that would be a good way to look at it. Yeah,
Which had always been rumored to run from the phone anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, exciting times.
Well, yes, by 2025.
Can't afford it before then anyway.
No. And I guess on that bombshell, in the vein of Top Gear, that's probably a good place to wrap up for this week's show. And also before both of us melt in this heat wave. So, a quick shout out to all of our listeners, in particular one of our listeners in Germany who I'm speaking to again this week. Thank you for your continued support. There are other listeners, of course, a bit like a product placement. Other products are available. Of course, you can find us on Twitter at Weekly Tech Rant for all of our updates on our shows and releases. And we're online at techrant.online, where we post all of our weekly show notes, links to all of the stories that's been talked about this week, and any other interesting facts as well. And we would ask you to leave a comment, have a like, and you can get this podcast wherever listening to your podcast at this time. So tell your friends about it, whatever service they use. I'm pretty sure we'll be on that. If we're not, let us know and we'll make sure we are. We'll be back next week for episode 97. I've been Jay.
I've been Carl. Have a good evening all.